The first lesson is you become who you are inspired by. So you are what you consume and you become who you are inspired by. Throughout the career of Playboi Cardi, he frequently transitions in and out of eras while also clearly showing who he is inspired by. Most notably, Cardi's inspirations can be seen through his personal style. Cardi's style evolution has shown me the importance of becoming inspired and remixing it to make it your own. It has inspired me to embrace my inspirations and has helped me find a way in my own self in doing so. Now, basically what this rule means, it says in the title that I kind of gave, you know what I'm saying? But become who you are inspired by. No matter if it's style, creative expression, working out, like whatever it is, just anything in life, you have to have inspirations. Everyone has inspirations. But for the sake of this video, we're just going to be talking about in personal style. But this applies to just anything in life and also, most importantly, your creative expression. I just want to say that as a disclaimer. But basically what I mean by this rule is you are who you become inspired by. So in life, not just fashion, having inspirations and studying your inspirations is important, as it starts as a foundation. That's an important word. As a foundation for most people attempting to find themselves. Having inspiration gives you a goal to chase and lights a fire inside of you that is essential to finding your own personal style. So the reason why I say it builds a foundation is when you're starting off, nobody just wakes up fly. You know what I'm saying? When you're starting off, you have to admire somebody's personal style. So it could be a celebrity, could be a musical artist, could be someone in your family, could be someone you see at your school, whatever it may be. Everyone starts off with inspiration, and in finding that inspiration, it's not like you're copying somebody, but you're finding who you are by figuring out what you're inspired by. And that's how most people start. Like my fashion inspirations, that kind of made me start taking fashion more serious. And this was around like COVID when I had kind of this shift. Was, of course, it was Carti, Uzi, Cash K. Shout out to Cash K. He follows me on my clip page on social media, so shout out to him. I still want to talk to him. I haven't talked to him, but he follows me, so shout out to him. Who else? People like just, you know, people like that. People, A$AP Rocky. I'm inspired by a lot of musical artists, their personal style, but just people like that have been some of my big inspirations and has morphed into me being a person now. I'm putting y'all on game, you know what I'm saying, because I've studied them. So that just shows you why inspiration is important, and I'll share how you can kind of find your own inspiration. But now I kind of want to connect into how Carti does this in his style evolution. So throughout his career, stylistically, Carti has never been afraid to show the world who and what he's inspired by, and it reflects in his own personal life and career. Carti has always been has always had a unique and expanded reflection of his inspirations, and this essentially led him to him being able to find who he is. So like, if you just look at a lot of Carti's different eras, look at the different eras of his life. So the self-titled era, that was kind of like he was inspired by A$AP Rocky, Ian Connor, so it was showing the Supreme, the Jordan 1s, you know what I'm saying? That was kind of the era at that point in time. Then as he got a little older, he transitioned to the Die-Lit era. What was he inspired by? A lot of punk rock, more like 1970s punk rock or whatever, and that showed up in his style reflection and his music, his aesthetic, how he carried himself at that point in time. You look at the Whole Lotta Red era, which is my favorite era, and that's when I started being like, okay, this guy is like super duper dope, and how he perceives himself. So you look at that era, he was very inspired by like vampires, gothic rock, like all that grunge rock, right? So it would show up in his outfits. He would always wear these Rick Owens outfits, blah blah blah, things like that. And you look at today's current era, he's inspired a lot by Lil Wayne, the old early 2000s era, right? And it shows up in his style, and it also shows up in his art as well. But we're just, for the sake of the video, we're just talking about his personal style. So the reason why I feel like this is important, because you can obviously tell what Carti's taking inspiration from, but he's making it his own. You know what I'm saying? Because if that makes sense. So basically, he's not just copying. He's not a carbon copy of a Lil Wayne outfit, but he's making that inspiration. He's taking that inspiration and making it his own in 2025. And I think that's for anyone that's looking to find their own personal style or elevate their personal style. It's important to be able to draw back to your inspirations. Like for me personally, when it comes to inspirations, and this is getting into how you can connect this in your life. When it comes to inspirations, I try and find, when I'm looking for inspiration, I try and find out what I think, the people who I think are the most cool, the people who I want to be like in a way, what motivates me, what I used to like as a kid, things like that. So just for example, some of my biggest motivating stylistic inspirations recently have been, and this may be a weird pull, but The Undertaker. So if anybody, I'm a big wrestling fan. That's one of my biggest inspirations. And The Undertaker and Steve Austin as well, they both kind of at a point in time in their careers had like a motorcycle, American, like, you know, type of aesthetic, right? And in a way, that's why I got a Harley Davidson shirt on right now. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I've just really been inspired by. So I'm making it my own and seeing how I can swag it with my own personality. So I just say that to say, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I just say that to say, understanding your inspirations and drawing back to them helps find your inspiration and who you are and what, and makes it kind of personal to you. So we're gonna move on to lesson number 3, and after this we got 2 more. Lesson number 3 is mastering your own self-perception changes everyone else's perception of you. In creative expression, it is important to master your own self-perception. Having a positive self-perception of yourself leads to self-confidence, which can be infectious. Having self-confidence and understanding who you are removes the fear of judgment. And Carti has mastered his self-perception, which is why he is not afraid to wear what he wears, no matter what other people think. Carti never explains his expression, which changes the overall perception of himself from others. Now, all of these rules or lessons kind of play into each other. So this one kind of directly correlates within the last lesson, which was removing the fear of being judged or being criticized or whatever, and how you express yourself stylistically, right? The reason why this rule right here, the mastering your own self-perception, is important because after you eliminate that self-doubt that you place in yourself when you are like, I don't know if I should wear this, people are gonna laugh at me, that leads to mastering your own self-perception. And what is self-perception? Perception is how you view something, right? So self-perception is how you view yourself. And a lot of people, you can tell, at least me, I can tell when someone is not confident in what they're wearing. I can tell when someone is being insecure in themselves, and that means they haven't mastered their self-perception. Because for people who've mastered their self-perception, they're confident in whatever they do. They're confident in their work. They're confident in their style. They're confident in, you know what I'm saying, just how they move as a person. They're confident. And like I said in the kind of little B-roll, it's that self-confidence can be infectious. So like if you're super confident in yourself, I may not like you, I may like you, but regardless, I have to respect you because you're being yourself and you're true to yourself. And I always respect people who are naturally themselves and who don't care about what other people think. And relating this to Carti, like I even said in the last rule, you can just tell through his art, you can tell through his style choices that he is so confident in himself. He can wear something that can be considered uncool, and because he has so much confidence in himself, people will think that it's cool. Now, if you like, just for example, and this is when I realized this about Carti, that it's gonna sound like I'm glazing. Why I realized this about Carti is that in a way he's a genius, because like back in the Whole Lotta Red days, he was wearing the most feminine things. Like how he was posing was just so crazy. His style choices, right? The Rick Owens, the tight Rick Owens. And look at the world now. Everyone hated on him for it, but now people even replicate this style that weren't even like that. At that point in time, people was wearing off-white V-Lone, and then Carti was one of the main people that influenced to switch to these more high-end fashion brands like Rick Owens. And I'm not saying in the world, like I'm saying in the kind of community, the culture, you know what I'm saying? Carti played a big part in it. You know what I'm saying? That's why he even said in the song, if Rick don't cut me a check, he gonna sue. You know what I'm saying? Because he believed in himself and what people may consider uncool or whatever it may be. And that shows that he mastered his own self-perception, and it became infectious that other people started to respect it as well. I hope this is making sense. You know what I'm saying? I hope this makes sense. But I just say that to say, like, mastering your self-perception of yourself. Obviously, your self-perception is the only thing that matters, because the last lesson said don't care about what other people think about you. But I just say that to say that mastering your own self-perception can become infectious. And like this video is, for example, like Carti, I would say, obviously I don't know Carti personally, but I would assume that he's very confident in himself and knows himself, right? And that confidence that he's had in himself has inspired me, and it's changing my life, and it's making me become more confident in myself, which is why I'm even making this video, you know what I'm saying, to try and inspire y'all, and hopefully my self-confidence can become self-infectious for you guys. So I just say that to say, like, understanding who you are and removing that fear of caring what other people think about you will lead to the overall perception of yourself and make you a better person and make you more fly and make you more confident. So